take our seats. We'll be starting here in just a few minutes. Everyone take their seats, please. Ladies and gentlemen, please make your way to your seats. The program will begin momentarily. Will everyone please rise for the presentation of the colors and the national anthem performed by country music performing artist Matt Snook with an invocation given by the 2020-2021 Armed Forces Insurance Air Force Spouse of the Year, Bree Carroll.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Hello, let us pray. Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this opportunity to gather. We thank you for these like-hearted spouses that are in this room, God. We thank you for the advocacy that we each do, God. We thank you for covering us and keeping us, God. And we thank you and remember all of our Blue Star families and our Gold Star families. We thank you, Lord, for continuing to inspire us to dream big. We thank you for all the sponsors who believe in us and give us a platform. We thank you for our nation's leaders, which are in this room, Lord. You have given them a great weight on their shoulder, Lord, and we thank you that you continue to give them wisdom and guidance as they lead this country. We thank you for our active duty members, and we thank you that we can gather at a time such as this with so much going on in the world and still smile and come together as family. We thank you, Lord, for the food that we will receive. Let it be of nourishment to our bodies. And I ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Everybody go ahead and take your seats. Wow, I don't know about you all, but that Matt Snook, he can pipe a tune. Oh, had my heart pounding. Well, welcome everyone to the 2020-2021 Armed Forces Insurance Military Spouse of the Year Awards Luncheon. Like everything else, this program was also impacted by the pandemic. Our 2020 class didn't really have their usual year that they would have had, so it was a super easy decision for us to extend their term through 2021. We are so excited to welcome Space Force this year. Mrs. Raymond, I believe, is here representing, so thank you. We will be adding Space Force into the nomination process for 2022, and those nominations actually start on November 29th this year. More to come, more to follow on that. Follow us on social media. The AFI MSOY community just had a wonderful 2 days of networking and education, and that would not have been possible without our town hall sponsors, who I want to recognize right now. Willis Re, Deloitte, Caliber Home Loans, PCS Grades, First Command, and Veterans United. Thank you so much for your support. You made the last 2 days very possible. I'd like to thank our military leadership for attending today. Thank you for your continued support of this program and your participation. It validates our spouses' service and inspires them to continue to achieve. Simply put, it does matter. So thank you so much for coming. If you refer to your luncheon program towards the back, you'll see the 5 voting categories. And although leadership has always been a core tenet, we will be revising the weight that this category has in the overall scoring system. Compassion, communication skills, a strong desire to serve are just a few qualities that we use to elevate leadership. We know that this new scoring system will preserve the quality of the candidates that this program has become known to produce, and our SOYs will continue to be that sought-after resource for our military leaders on the needs of military families. We're here today to celebrate the 2020-2021 branch winners and our Armed Forces Insurance Military Spouse of the Year, Paulette Fryer, who is the first Coast Guard Spouse of the Year to be an overall winner. And now, in honor of this wonderful program, I'd like to share with you a beautiful video that journals the history of this program.
We proudly present the Armed Forces Insurance Military Spouse of the Year program. Please join us on our journey through the years of the Armed Forces Insurance Military Spouse of the Year program. Founded in 2008 by Chris Hale, the award was introduced as a way to empower the community by enabling military spouses to recognize the leaders among them. Shell Brewer, Army Spouse, was selected as the 2008 Armed Forces Insurance Military Spouse of the Year for her incredible commitment to volunteerism, with such organizations as the USO and the March of Dimes. In 2009, branch winners were introduced, allowing even more men and women to be recognized. Marine Corps spouse and veteran Tanya Chiaro won the overall award for her work as a victim's advocate, a volunteer with the Links program, and as a key spouse. In 2010, it was Lori Bell, an Air Force spouse, veteran, and author of The Yes Process, Discover the Journey of Becoming Yourself, who was named the Armed Forces Insurance Military Spouse of the Year. 2011 brought another first. Robert Duncan was the first male spouse to make it to the top 5 as the Armed Forces Insurance Navy Spouse of the Year. Bianca Strakowski, Marine Corps spouse, won the overall award for her incredible work with family readiness programs and her commitment to military spouse education opportunities, something she still exemplifies in her work as managing editor for AmeriForce Media. Speaking of male spouses, in 2012, Jeremy Hilton won the overall title. A Navy veteran and Air Force spouse, Jeremy's dedication to advocating for the EFMP community has both been inspiring and relentless. 2012 was also the first year that the National Guard was included in the branch winners. As if that wasn't enough for 2012, 30 finalists from 2010, 2011, and 2012 were selected to attend Oprah's My Favorite Things show. 2013 was another banner year for the program, as the installation level was added for the award, ensuring that each and every base, district for the Coast Guard, and state for the National Guard has a representative. And for the first time, a National Guard spouse, Alicia Hines Ward, took the title for her work with military families and community businesses. In 2014, the program saw the first overseas winner in serial entrepreneur, author of Mommy Retailing, influencer, and Marine Corps spouse Lakeisha Cole, whose family was stationed in Okinawa, Japan at the time. Lakeisha would go on to work with Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia to introduce the Military Spouse Employment Act and attend the State of the Union address as his guest, showing military spouses everywhere that our voices do matter. In 2015, Taya Kyle spoke at the awards luncheon, where she was awarded the Gabby Giffords Award for Bravery and Courage. Army spouse Corey Weathers was named the Armed Forces Insurance Military Spouse of the Year for her commitment to encouraging military marriages. Because of this award, Corey was invited to travel with the Secretary of Defense to visit troops in Afghanistan, Iraq, Turkey, and the Persian Gulf. Her book, Sacred Spaces, and her Life Giver podcast continue to be a force multiplier of her inspiring work. In 2016, Marine Corps spouse Natasha Harth took the crown. The founder of the nonprofit Be a Blessing DC, helping local homeless and military families that need a hand up, Natasha told us that any ordinary person can do the extraordinary. In 2017, Air Force spouse Brittany Bacher was named the Armed Forces Insurance Military Spouse of the Year. Brittany founded the Down Syndrome Advancement Coalition, a nonprofit designed to unify organizations that meet the needs of the Down syndrome community. Brittany has partnered with the USO and Armed Forces Insurance to bring spouses across the country her workshop, Discovering Your Spark, Finding Your Color in a Camouflaged World. In 2018, Army spouse Krista Simpson Anderson was awarded the title at the USO Metro Annual Gala. The theme of the gala was a salute to spouses, and we can't think of anyone more deserving than the spouse with the heart of gold.
Krista is the founder of The Unquiet Professional, a nonprofit she created in memory of her late husband, Staff Sergeant Michael Simpson. In 2019, it was Marine Corps spouse Holly Vega who was named Armed Forces Insurance Military Spouse of the Year. A super volunteer, Holly serves as a Links mentor with Marine Corps Family Team Building and as a co-lead for Military Hearts Matter through the American Heart Association.
2020 was certainly a challenging year across the world with the COVID-19 outbreak. Despite the pandemic, Armed Forces Insurance was proud to continue its tradition of the MSOY program, naming Paulette Fryer as the 2020 Armed Forces Insurance Military Spouse of the Year. Paulette was the first Coast Guard spouse to receive the award for her tremendous volunteer and mentoring efforts. Paulette created the Million Mile Project to raise awareness around the veteran and military community suicide epidemic. Participants are encouraged to log miles however they enjoy for 22 days.
Now that you know where we've been, we want to share where we're going. Armed Forces Insurance acquired the Military Spouse of the Year program in 2018, and our future is bright as we expand the platform to reach even more spouses. We plan to better leverage the incredible talent across the base and branch winners. We want to build a mentorship initiative that will pair spouses across passions and geography. We're also proud to have launched the Mara Lee Considine Pursue Scholarship, named for the 2013 Armed Forces Insurance Fort Hood Spouse of the Year, Mara Lee, who lost her cancer battle in February 2019. This scholarship will support military spouses in their endeavors to pursue their platforms and advocacy. Also in 2019, we started our Armed Forces Insurance Military Spouse of the Year Advisory Council, a volunteer group instrumental in moving the program forward through suggested improvements and ideas that will have a positive impact. If you'd like to be considered for a position, let us know. We have big plans ahead, and we want you to be with us every step of the way. The alumni of the Armed Forces Insurance Military Spouse of the Year program have had a tremendous collective impact, not just on our own community, but on the world. The Armed Forces Insurance Military Spouse of the Year program is more than just a program. It's a family. We're thrilled you're a part of it.
Awesome. Thank you to Tessa Robinson, our 2018 AFI Naval Station Norfolk Spouse of the Year, for creating this video. I was remiss, I should have told you guys when you first walked in, please go ahead and start your salads and eating. This next person needs no introduction. She's dedicated her entire life to supporting military spouses and their platforms, which now we are calling their passion. She's touched thousands among thousands of lives throughout the year. She was recently presented the 2021 Bonnie Amos Military Spouse Impact Award for Lifetime Achievement. She's also one of the most positive people that I know, and she always leads with kindness. I'm honored to call her my friend, as many of you in this room are, Mrs. Susie Schwartz.
Thank you so much, and please, I really want everybody to eat. I want to welcome everybody, too, to hear all of our senior leaders. We're so happy. Senior leaders, both officer and enlisted. I'm really excited that we have Chief Master Sergeant, Sergeant Majors, all the things. I won't say them all. I'll get them all wrong. But thank you all for being here. But before I introduce this next person, what I want to do is just say, could all the spouses in the room please stand? This is for you. All the military spouses in the room. Thank you. It's your day, and we are so happy that we can do this event in person. So thank you all for being here. Okay, I'm up here for a reason. I'm up here to introduce Lieutenant General Sid Clark, retired. He became chairman of the Armed Forces Insurance in 2017 after a distinguished career in the Air National Guard. Sometimes things are kind of fun when you're still serving, and he reminded me a wonderful trip that we had dinner on the Bosphorus many years ago. Those were things that you're going to treasure and memories to keep for a lifetime, and we thank you for many, many years of service and continued service. But we're happy to have him here today to thank him and Armed Forces Insurance for their continued love and support of this wonderful program. And with that, General Sid Clark.
I don't need to say this, but keep eating. Well, thank you all for being here. I want to give a special thanks to our sponsors and also our senior military taking time out. We could have a tank session if you want to. All of you are here, so that's possible. I'll be brief. The Military Spouse of the Year program was kind of created, you got a little bit in the video there about honor and recognition of military spouses. And that doesn't just stop with the spouses that are here and honored from each of the branches. It extends to all military spouses. That's the point of the program. It was enough on its own just to be a program about honor and recognition, but it's much more than that. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to sit in on some of the sessions that they were having during the town hall, listening to the spouses about all the various programs that they support. And these are volunteers, mind you, and they do a variety of things out there that are just simply fantastic, and they're good news. And I'm proud to be a part of the organization that supports that. Imagine a platform where all of these volunteer programs can come together and network, assist each other, inform each other, communicate, and essentially extend these programs to people that need them and are interested in them. So I want to give you a non-exhaustive list of the programs that these spouses are involved in. Military marriages, strengthening them. Military children programs. Military families at large. PTSD, suicide concerns, surviving spouses. Financial concerns, spouse abuse, diversity and inclusion, veterans issues to include homelessness and access to medical care. Community relations, both on and off post and bases, and spousal employment. That's just some of them. And just imagine where this organization, via the Military Spouse of the Year program, has been able to pull them together and help them assist and extend those programs, again, to people that need them and are interested in them. So for them, they don't do this for fame or money. They do it because it's the right thing to do. And at Armed Forces Insurance, this Military Spouse of the Year program, we consider it the right thing to do also. Thank you.
Okay, it's scholarship recognition time. We have a short video that we'd like to play for you that introduces the scholarship program.
Mary Lee on the first day of my chemo treatment back in 2013. She was asked by a fellow military spouse to come visit me as she was a breast cancer survivor. Mary Lee was my angel on many of my darkest days during treatments, multiple surgeries, and setbacks. Mary Lee had a positive outlook on everything in life. She was the shining star in the lives of many. She dedicated her time to military families during deployments, helping new military spouses learn the ropes, visited with those that were in the hospital, and she even coordinated big fundraisers to help find a cure for breast cancer. She wanted each of us to keep giving back and to live life to the fullest. Mary Lee Heather Considine passed on February 10, 2019, at the young age of 41 after a courageous fight with breast cancer for 8 years. We love, love, love you always, Mary Lee.
I'd like to thank our 2019 Armed Forces Insurance Army Spouse of the Year, Maria Reed, for putting that video together. She did a great job. So when this award was created, which to be honest with you, we've only had it in place 1 year. Feels like it's been a long time ago. It's been 2 years ago, but 1 actual year. We created it wanting to sponsor and support our spouses who are interested in non-traditional events, not traditional higher education, but certifications, conferences, events, professional development, personal development. There's a lot of different events out there that accommodate those, and that's really what this scholarship program was intended for. So for the winners this year, if you're here, would you please come forward when I announce your name? The recipients for this year's Mary Lee Constantine Pursue scholarships are LaShawna Sims, 2019 AFI Air Force base spouse from Nellis. I don't believe LaShawna's here today. Brian Alvarado, I know Brian's here. 2018 AFI Navy Spouse of the Year. Marla Batista, 2018 and 2019 Fort Drum Spouse of the Year. Stacy Billadou, 2018 AFI Coast Guard Spouse of the Year. I know Stacy couldn't make it today either. Jessica Manfrey, 2019 AFI Coast Guard Spouse of the Year. And Nicole Walkman, 2020-2021 AFI Buckley Air Force Spouse of the Year. Can we give these guys another round of Okay, we can continue to enjoy our lunch. The main course will be served any minute now.
everybody's got their lunch, so please continue eating. Because this is in the middle of the day, we're trying to make sure we don't lose anybody. I threatened the uniforms, please let us know if you have to run like the wind because we want a picture with you. So if you see us all of a sudden stop the program and say, take a picture, it's because somebody has to go. But they're here, right? They're here. No one's going anywhere, I don't think. Anyway, our next speaker is a friend. I wrote some words down, and I'm not right. I don't know. No. We are so proud of Patty Barron. We're proud of all she's done. We're proud that you're one of us, and not that one of us hasn't been in that position before, but to have known you all these years, you are the shining example that volunteerism can lead to a job, can lead to another job, and then lead to this job. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts for loving this program, inviting them to so many things, being my Army point if I had an Army question, and helping me on so many issues. We are just happy to have you come and give some wonderful words to us from the DoD perspective. So thank you, Patty Barron.
So you're not supposed to start by making me cry, Susie Schwartz. So thank you so much for that very warm welcome, and it's so good to see you in person and see so many of you in person. Sorry, I'm looking around the room and I'm seeing people that I love and I have to go, hello. So hello, and to our senior leaders, thank you for valuing military spouses so much that your presence is here today. It means so much to all of us, and also to our senior spouses, represented, of course, by the very lovely Mrs. Millie, Mrs. Heighton, and Mrs. Colon Perez. I think I saw her here somewhere. I just want to say a huge hello again to all of you. And I saw Susie, but I also saw another remarkable lady over there, Elaine Rogers, and I just wanted to say it's fantastic to see you too. So, hello, MSOYs. Hello. You all look so amazing. And, as Susie said, I love the Armed Forces Insurance Military Spouse of the Year program. I truly do. And I brag about all of you ladies and gents all the time. Seriously, I do, because you're fabulous, and you are leaders, and I brag because I know that you have, and you will continue to, make a huge difference. So I'm just honored to be speaking to you today. I've been asked to speak about volunteerism and how it contributes to military spouses' career, something that you and I know an awful lot about, the volunteering part, and the stresses and challenges of the career part. And I know you know what I mean when I say that. Many of you know that I was an active duty spouse for 30 years, and my husband, Mike, who is now retired, served as an active duty infantryman in the Army, and I'm really proud of him as always. We've PCS 14 times during that time period. Some of you probably moved more, maybe some of you moved less. And I worked or I volunteered as much as I could while raising my children at home during that time. I graduated college in the same year that I married my soldier. I had a degree in nursing, but our first assignment was out in Germany. And it was very hard to find a nursing job in the little town of Osterholz-Scharmbeck, Garlstadt, 2nd AD forward. Very, very hard to find a nursing job there. So I did the only thing that I could do. I volunteered as a Red Cross nurse. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I love the experience of working within the community, and I love the experience of educating others in lots of different areas. Unfortunately, one of the first things that I educated people on was on giving birth to babies, and I hadn't done that yet, so it was a little bit dicey, but we were able to get through it. So as the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Military, Community, and Family Policy, I am honored to lead an amazing team of people. Together, we're dedicated to providing quality of life policies and programs that help our military families live their very best lives. And my job is all about advocating for quality of life programs and making sure our policies and programs align to meet your needs. Now, that's pretty amazing. I'm so amazed that I'm even in this position. And I know that all of you, my BFFs in this room, will let me know what those needs are. Because I count on you. I count on your voices to tell me what's going on and what we can do. At Military, Community, and Family Policy, we develop 5 strategic imperatives for supporting our military community. These key focus areas will guide the actions we will take into 2021 and beyond. They include leveraging diversity, equity, and inclusion, emphasizing team building, applying all of it through a COVID lens, because we're not out of COVID and we're going to be feeling the impact of COVID for a while, and bringing the voice of military families to the department and specifically to MC and FP. Diversity, equity, inclusion, and embracing military family voices are what I'll talk about today because they're relevant to the Military Spouse of the Year program. As you know, the Armed Forces Insurance Military Spouse of the Year Award recognizes our military spouses for their above and beyond contributions to the military community. And the program helps military spouses shout their stories from the rooftops. Where's Brian? I know he can shout. And about volunteerism and advocacy and support and passion and commitment to our military community and to our nation. The program highlights the diversity of experiences in the military community and brings the voices of our military spouses to the forefront so that they can inspire and help others. Connecting with you at events like this, even though I know I was a little late today, but I will mingle later, I promise, is one way for me to hear about your experiences and bring your perspective to the department to help inform our policies and programs. To illustrate with an example, military spouses have been telling us about the challenges of working in new states upon PCSing, especially if they're in a profession that requires a license. Every time you move, if you have a license, you need to get a new license in the state that you've moved to. And I know what that's like. As a nurse, I have 7 state licenses. Now, I didn't always work in the state where I was living, but I needed to have an active license for a lot of different reasons because you never know, and I needed to be ready. So believe me when I say that I truly understand how difficult the license portability issue is. And as a matter of fact, our Defense State Liaison Office is working to mitigate these challenges and barriers for spouses in as many states as possible. And we're currently working with several professions on developing interstate compacts to lessen the burden for you, which is amazing. I want to say right now we're working with massage therapy, we're working with dental and dental hygienists, we're working with teachers, we're working with chiropractors, and cosmetology. Oh, I remembered them all. So isn't that pretty cool? I mean, that's really just amazing. Thank you. I'll take full credit for something I didn't do. Lori asked me to speak on the topic of volunteerism today and how it contributes to your career path as a military spouse. And let me tell you, I have a lot to say from personal experience. I describe my career as zigzaggy. Whenever a door closed, I found a window and I went through it. I know you all did that too. I know it sounds familiar. Because many of you can probably relate to that zigzag, gap-filled resume that military life has given us, it's important that the doors or windows that we open are seen as not being in a straight path, because they never are. You know, we don't do straight path careers. We tend to figure that out as we go along or hope or make it happen for ourselves. And so as you go through them while working and opening more opportunities for the future, both for yourself and for your family, and that is what MSOYs do best, you raise awareness and you create new opportunities. As I mentioned, I got a Bachelor in Nursing, and I thought that I would always work as a nurse. But I soon learned that I needed to work on my terms, and in nursing, that's not always possible. I think it's one of the hardest careers to say, oh, I only need to work 9 to 5. Oh, they laugh at you and they laugh at you. So I went through new windows, and I always kept an eye out for what I could learn from these new experiences. For instance, when Mike was stationed at USMA West Point, I was a West Point tour guide. I was pretty good at it too. And the reason I took that job is because my littles were still in pre-K, and I knew that if I was a tour guide, I would learn some public speaking skills because I had to be able to, present the academy to the people on the bus. So I then got a master's in community mental health. And that was at Fort Leavenworth. And then guess what? We went right back to Germany. So I was able to talk my way into a supervised volunteer experience at the tiny behavioral health clinic in Vilsec. And I knew that they were overwhelmed, that the caseload was impossible, and I could offer an educated extra pair of hands, and that's how I approached it. They swooped me up and really helped me with that career experience. So this type of career approach and growth isn't easy. I know it isn't, and it's not for everybody, but that's the path that I took. It did require perseverance and flexibility and even some creativity at times. I asked a lot of my employment experiences because I needed my employer to work around my family's needs and yet continuing to provide me with growth and career-enhancing opportunities. So when no doors or no windows were obvious or all of them seemed locked, my creative thinking kicked in, and I reached out for advice until I could figure it out with others that had gone before me. Today, you have access to many more options in terms of career guidance and support. So did you know that Military OneSource offers free career coaching through the Spouse Education Career Opportunities Program? Free access to certified career coaches that can help you as you try to figure out what the right school is, what the right career path is, where are the potential employers, whether or not you need to start or grow your own business. I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs in the room. And so this resource is right there for you. So with respect to education and career development, our Spouse Education and Career Opportunities Program is the most direct way that military spouses can seek support. So make sure you visit the SECO website at myseco.militaryonesource.mil, and so that you can access a resume builder, a career path and occupation research, LinkedIn Premium, information on virtual hiring fairs, the My Career Advancement Scholarship Program, military spouse employment partnerships, and one-to-one career counseling. And oh, by the way, I also recommend that you go to the peer-to-peer support on Military OneSource so that you can connect with someone just like you to help you grow and thrive and get through the process that you're involved in. During Mike's 30-year career, I spent an awful lot of time solo parenting. Always fun, because there were many places that Mike was sent to that I wasn't invited to go to. Okay, so, and I know for many of you that sounds familiar as well. And solo parenting can be exhausting. Oh my goodness, especially if you've got little ones. I don't know how our spouses today during COVID are doing it. I give them all the credit in the world. But maybe during this time, you might be able to access some of the resources at Military OneSource that can help you with certification, growing, gaining new skills at night when you have your free time. I know there is no free time. So my point is that military life, particularly for spouses, has unique challenges and adventures. And we do what we do based on our circumstances, our opportunities, and our needs. No two military spouses' lives paths are the same. And our career paths are not the same either. But I want, and I will, and I have made it my goal to help every single one of you through the programs and policies that I'm responsible for to give you the best opportunity at the best quality of life possible. And I promise you that I will listen to you, I will brainstorm with you, and I will help us get to yes as often as possible. So I can't stress enough the importance of the military families and spouses' voices as advocates and influencers for the military community. And as a spouse, you are a voice of and for the community. Never forget that. Your voice is the voice, and that is something to be extremely proud of. So according to the Armed Forces Insurance Military Spouse of the Year program, this program believes that every military spouse serves in their own capacity with selfless hearts and passion for service. And I know that's true when I look around the room. I wholeheartedly agree and would like to add that capacity depends on many factors for spouses. It depends on your life stage and personal experience, on your career experience and career background, on your family makeup, your branch of service, your location, the work and volunteer work that impassions you. While some of these factors are fixed, Others are fluid, resulting in dynamic capacities and passions. And these are all a part of the diversity of being a military spouse over the military life cycle. Our diversity is our strength. It totally is. Look around this room. Unbelievable, unbelievable. And we learn from each other and we leave pebbles, but maybe for MSOYs, you probably leave behind boulders so that those will follow. So I do want to give out a few quick shout outs to some of the spouses of the year at the installation level to give you a sense of the diversity of the voices and highlight the wide range of volunteer and advocacy programs, platforms that exist. Elizabeth Ann Castro, the Marine Corps Camp Courtney Spouse of the Year, focuses on the concept of roots. She states that service members cultivate a level of resilience and resolve equal to the task. And this holds true for families as well. Their health and personal professional growth are determined by their ability to adapt to new environments. They bloom where they are planted, but roots are rarely mentioned. Roots are crucial to family readiness and allow this blooming to happen. Elizabeth helps incoming spouses put down their roots in Okinawa, of all places. She states family strength is reinforced only once their roots spread and deepen as they become part of the local community. Brittany Vallejo of Maelstrom Air Force Base, Spouse of the Year, she focuses on mental health awareness and education, including suicide and depression prevention, and helping military families navigate the healthcare system. She spreads the word on social media and sometimes on local news stations in Montana. Priya Hill, the Marine Corps Air Station Cherry Point Spouse of the Year. She advocates for more education and remote work for opportunities for military spouses. She regularly shares resources for remote opportunities via social media, face-to-face, and by email. She conducts research on remote careers and education and shares what she has learned. And lastly, Allison Wheeler, from the Fort Richardson Spouse of the Year. She advocates for easier transitions for new military spouses. She is a newlywed who became a military spouse in 2018, bless her heart. Congratulations, Allison. She seeks to give back and help other new Army spouses in Alaska. This is just a small example of the breadth and brilliance of these spouses. They are absolutely amazing. And all 120 plus winning spouses are also amazing. So let's give a round of applause to all of the MSOY spouses. I encourage you to check out their bios and get a sense of the life experiences and paths that they all have taken. Returning to the topic of volunteering for just a minute and career paths, a brief word of advice. Think of your advocacy and volunteerism as career experiences rooted in personal experiences. You build experience from your background and life circumstances as they collide with opportunities. They collide with opportunities. We don't go into it easily. We collide with those opportunities. Sometimes you choose your career, other times your career chooses you. In my case, I zigzagged between the two. There was no single career path for me, but rather many at many different stages of my life. Often a career path is knowing which opportunities are out there, and I'm just not talking about career opportunities or career support, but rather all the resources available to you as part of the military community. I think we're going to be passing out a Venn diagram, is what we call it, of all of the resources that Military OneSource offers. That includes some that you would never have thought of, such as elder care. Now, elder care, some of you more senior people in the room, don't worry, that's not what it means. What elder care means is that recently talked to a colonel out at Fort Bragg, and he told me that his mother was coming to live with them in the area, and he and his wife spent countless of hours and days trying to find just the right place for his mom to live. Had he known that we had that elder care option, they would have done all the research for him, and they would have provided at least a few recommendations for them to go and look at. Would have saved them tons and tons of time. Did you know that we do that? That's fantastic. So make sure you check out what Military OneSource has to offer you. And It's available to service members, their families of active duty, National Guard, and Reserve, regardless of activation status, and survivors, of course, as well as veterans and their spouses who are also eligible to access Military OneSource for up to 1 year, Krista, up to 1 year after separation or retirement. Ask yourselves, what opportunities and resources may lead you to more opportunities? Are there resources that you would like to use to make your life a little bit easier? What would it take to help you feel rooted or bloom? And I encourage you to take a moment and explore what's on Military OneSource. And I do say that because it's my job to say that, but it's also because I truly believe it. It's a wonderful, wonderful resource. Now, if you're already well-versed in Military OneSource, and I imagine many of you are, I'm going to ask you a favor. I'm going to ask you to become Military OneSource champions for me. Your voice carries so much weight, and especially among other military spouses. So if you can help me with that, I would forever be in your debt. So allow me to close with this piece of advice, which has served me very well through the years. When a door opens, go through it. Then hold it open for someone else. When no door seems to be there, look harder. And when all doors seem to be locked, keep trying. Get creative and reach out, and something will emerge, I promise you. And we at Military Community and Family Policy are here to help. I have found that volunteer work and advocacy lead to many doors, but we often take our service for granted. Anytime you help or support others, think of it not just as selflessly serving others, but also as a career experience that serves you. You can have it both ways. Gain experience by helping others and benefiting from that experience, and then sharing that experience with others. It comes full circle. I don't know how I got here, truthfully, but I'm here. And I really feel strongly that it was all of those different zigzaggy roads that I took that led me here. But mostly it was because I truly, truly love military families, and I absolutely adore military spouses and the MSOY program. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm waiting for that stage to just collapse right underneath me. That would be lovely, wouldn't it? That'd be nice. That would be just so nice. Okay, I gotta find my page now that we switched. Thank you, Patty. Really, it was all wonderful, but I really liked the end. Opening doors for others. I mean, that is just the perfect way to end those great remarks. And I hope everybody takes that advice seriously and supports her and what she does, and Military OneSource too. I'm just gonna say, use it or lose it, ladies, gentlemen. Anyway, we're pivoting. And we're about to honor somebody. I've got words here. I knew I would cry. We're about to honor Elaine Rogers with a Legacy Achievement Award. Rarely does a person make so much impact and a difference in the military community. I have words here. Elaine did it long before it was cool. After 9/11, it became the thing to do. But she was at it for 40 plus years. She was there. It wasn't just her name. It was her body. She was at every event. I'm telling you, I don't know. Did you have a room at Walter Reed in the beginning? I don't know. I really don't know. She has supported military families, active duty, the veterans, the wounded, the spouses, just forever and ever and ever. And she also, as senior leaders, as you come in, she made us all feel welcome. She made us feel like she was our friend forever. I mean, she was our friend, but like we had been best buddies. I mean, we have been good buddies now for 20 years, I think it is. Oh, geez. See, I'm not even looking down here. But she showed it. She did this with the most enthusiasm that you have ever seen in any one human being. And I'm pretty much out there, you guys, that you know me. I'm pretty far gone. But I don't think
I hold a candle to Elaine Rogers in the enthusiasm quotient. And the bling quotient. I'm pretty blingy, and I do have on my USO earrings today. And I did not have any blingy shoes. I should have just gone and ordered some blingy sandals or flip-flops. So I wore a blingy bracelet in the middle of the day in your honor, Elaine. Just gonna say. It has just been such an honor watching you through these years, and we did not want you to go away. She loves this community specifically, too, and that's part of the reason that we wanted to make sure that we thanked her publicly. Several years ago, I think we were both in airports somewhere, and I got a call from Elaine. Everyone here knows if you get a call from Elaine Rogers, you actually answer it, and you don't let it go to voicemail. She said, I've got an idea. I'm like, oh, God, what do you want? She says, well, I'm kind of just putting it together, but what do you think if we do the Military Spouse of the Year inside my event? Well, I just love that idea, but I'm not really the decision maker, let me say. So I'm like so excited, I can hardly stand it, right? And I get off the phone and I call Lori, and suddenly I'm trying to explain to Lori, and it wasn't coming across as quite as great as Elaine made it sound. I don't know. So I had to do a lot of groveling a little bit to make it, not to say it's going to be great. And I say that to say, trust is everything. And what Elaine said to me over and over, because she did not let us know the details of this event, let me just tell you. And all she kept saying was, trust me, Susie, it's going to be great. And it was an evening that no one will ever remember. Everyone in the room, every spouse in the room felt like a king or a queen or a princess or whatever it is that you want to say. It was so beyond the beyond. And that's not anywhere in here in these notes. It's just nowhere to be found in here. But the love that you showed, and you always show, but for this particular group to be included in that event was so, so special. We can never thank you enough for what you've done for spouses, for the wounded, for veterans, for active duty. And I'm not saying you're done, just moving on to a little bit different realm of involvement. I hope you have a life in the future. I'm proud to say that you're my friend. For 1 year of my life, she was my neighbor in Crystal City. But mostly I'm proud to say that you are a friend to everyone in this room. And America thanks you for all that you have done. So, Elaine, Lori, we actually do have an award, I think, to give to you.
Oh my God, I'm crying now.
I made it through without crying, and I knew if I looked down and tried to read the awards, I couldn't do it. But there is an award, and I'm going to read the citation, okay? The Legacy Achievement Award presented to Elaine Rogers for her heartfelt and steadfast dedication in support of veterans, military spouses, and their families. Through many years of commitment, her actions have impacted millions of lives. For this, we are eternally grateful. Elaine, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for everything.
I love you. You're a wonderful, dear, incredible friend. Oh, thank you. More. No, thank you. Thank you all so much. I don't usually shake. I don't usually get nervous, but after Susie got up and said all those beautiful words, we've been friends for over 20 years, my friend, and I do want to say up front, the trust thing was so important because we couldn't have done what we did without Susie selling it to Lori, and we kept saying, Lori, just trust. She kept saying, no, just trust. It'll be great. It'll be great. So thank you for doing that. And come here, Lori. I want to say a couple of things about you, about General Clark. Thank you both. You are amazing. Your company is amazing. But you are like rock stars to us. Do you know that? No, I'm serious. Right, ladies and gentlemen? You're rock stars to us because of what you do in taking this program over. And Susie, you got the right folks here. And she's responsible there. So to get the right folks to take this whole program over and do it, it is so amazing. And Lori, as we all know, this is your passion. You have been living the passion of your life. And I've watched you live, breathe. I didn't even know you had another job and worked for General Clark and was doing it. I'm like, oh, really? You have a whole other job to do on top of putting all this together. But I learned, okay, I learned. I do love the USO logo along with the military spouse with MSOY. And so I wanted to give you our USO glitter pin so that you can wear this and have this, you know, with your logo, so I can think of you like that.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
And Patty, those were wonderful remarks, and I just wanted to put a little bow on that, okay? And the bow is that you all, and I've read all your bios, I do every year, you are volunteers giving back to organizations. And if it weren't for all of you in this room, there would not be a USO. Because without volunteers, there is no USO. There are so many organizations that would not be here if it were not for all of you. And you are many of you in this room are my friends. I've gotten to know you over time. And I cannot think of a better way for me to wind down 45 years of working for the USO than being with all of you here. This is, for me, my glide path. And when Lori called me and asked me about this, I was just so excited because I knew I would be with my friends when I left this job. And you all mean so much to me. And so I wanted to say one last thing, is that for those of you who remember who Bob Hope is, he always said, do you remember who he is? Yay, hopefully. Yeah, okay. Well, Bob Hope's famous line is, thanks for the memories. And I wanted to say, thanks for the memories. It's been a heck of a ride because of all of you. Keep doing what you're doing. You are America, and you're what's making us go forward. Thank you.
The short and the tall. Very deserving. Okay. Now, we would like to introduce our 2020-2021 branch winners. They've been around for, like I said, for over a year now, but this is their light, their time to shine, their light. So, would you please join us when we call you on stage? I'm going to start with David Carrera, and he is with us in spirit. Unfortunately, he is stationed in Japan and could not make it with us here today, but he is the AFI Navy Spouse of the Year. Men are often forgotten in the discussion of how to mentor, engage, and support our military spouses, but with spouses like David, organizations that he created is called Man Dependent, and those days are soon in the past. David's plans involve eliminating the stigma of military spouse events and focusing on the entire community. No more pink, flowery, ladies-only events, and more focus on real military spouse issues that everyone has in common, like parenting. Susie, want to come? Arlene Allen, the AFI Marine Corps Spouse of the Year. Where's Arlene? Where's Arlene? There she is. Arlene has taken her passion for running to a new level with Stroller Warriors, a program designed to help military spouses and families live happier, healthier, and more confident lives. Through fitness, friendship, and community outreach, Arlene and her fellow stroller warriors are able to connect with military spouses and welcome them into the fold, no matter where they are, no matter what their fitness journey is. With over 40 locations around the world, spouses can get involved in a stroller warrior, that's a difficult one to say, stroller warriors chapter near them. Arlene Allen.
Okay, next up, Bree Carroll is the Armed Forces Insurance Air Force Spouse of the Year. When Bree started to see her military spouse friends file for divorce, she knew something needed to change. As an advocate for strong military marriages, Bree started National Military Marriage Day as a way to highlight strong marriages and provide practical advice to those who desire to make their marriages stronger. Bree also launched the Hearts and Stripes podcast to equip the military community with resources to strengthen their marriages. Bree, thank you for everything.
Christy Reed, the Armed Forces Insurance National Guard Spouse of the Year. The military lifestyle is so much better when you can have someone on your side, and National Guard spouse Christy Reed is one of those spouses. As a mentor for military spouses, Reed is able to share over 20 years of experience as a spouse and explain how some things change and other things don't. She wants to use her experiences to make the road a little less bumpy for the newer spouses and works with programs like the Military Spouse Advisory Network to reach new spouses. Christy's a mentor with that organization. Welcome.
Yvonne Coombs, the Army Spouse of the Year for 2020-2021. What started as a dress swap years ago has become so much more. Yvonne has led military spouses around the world, around the country, around the world too, isn't it, to focus on one thing, realizing that together we will. Her nonprofit, Operation Deploy Your Dress, encourages military spouses to share resources and ball gowns and support their service members in a variety of ways. Through Operation Deploy Your Dress Network, spouses can rally together and face anything that Murphy or the military throws their way. Yvonne, thank you.
And finally, representing the Coast Guard, Paulette Fryer, our 2020-2021 Armed Forces Insurance Military Spouse of the Year. Paulette is a huge supporter of military spouses and their families. As a member of the Military Mothers of Preschoolers, or MOPS, Paulette can pass along encouragement, hope, support, and love to younger mothers and military spouses. She views it as her opportunity to give back, to pass along the mentorship and the friendship she received as a younger mother. Paulette continues to be a reassuring and supportive voice for the military community and for spouses for all stages of parenthood. Can we congratulate our spouses this year?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen not here. And we'll see them back up here again for some pictures, but thank you so much. Elaine, sweet words too from you earlier, so thank you. Okay, now I get to introduce General Hyten. I'm going to thank you for being here. Again, I'm trying to read it. I need to read. Yeah. He's the vice chairman of the Joint Chiefs. He's the nation's second-ranking military member. He's a friend. Okay, here I go. He entered the Air Force and has been a space warrior, I'm going to say. Nort tried to tell me to say acquisition. He tried to tell me to say other things. I'm like, oh, for God's sakes, I'm not saying any of those things. No. But prior to this, he held a job, a wonderful job, at Stratcom. He came to D.C. And has been supportive of military spouses. He and Laura, thank you both for being here. But we're honored to have him come here today. I know that it has been a trying time. I was going to say weeks. Should we go with months? I don't know. But thank you for serving your country for this many, many years. And we look forward to hearing wonderful remarks from you today. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Susie. You know, anytime you give Susie a microphone, it's dangerous. But, you know, as I was looking at Susie and Elaine on stage a while ago, I'm saying, you know, the last thing in the world I want to do is follow them on stage. Hold on, you put both of them with a microphone, the energy is huge, the excitement is huge, it's just right. First of all, on behalf of the chairman, General Milley and Holly Ann, on behalf of the SEAC, Senior Enlisted Advisor Chairman Colon Lopez and Janet, and on behalf of me and my wife. Thanks to each and every spouse in this room. Thanks to each and every spouse that serves our military every day. Thanks for what you do. It's really pretty remarkable. You know, I always remind people the most important word in my duty title is the first word, vice, because I'm not the chairman. And as the vice, I'll just say, normally the chairman asks me to do things he doesn't want to do. And it just kind of rolls downhill, and it rolls down quickly because I'm right next door. But in this case, I get to do something that's really special because General Milley couldn't be here. So he sends his greetings, his congratulations, his best, and he just wanted me to thank each and every spouse. Because I tell you, I think the spouses are one of the greatest secrets of the United States military. And I've watched Laura stand up in front of groups of spouses many, many times over the years, and she always starts the same way, and it's perfect. It's perfect because it's legal, it's appropriate, and it gets people thinking. She starts, you know, as a spouse, you don't have to do anything. We don't require you to do anything. We don't pay you $1, and we're not going to pay you $1. But if you want to do something, we have got stuff for you to do. And somehow people get curious about what that means and what could be out there that could be interesting. And then people come up and, Madam Secretary, you're not Patty, you are the DASD, you're the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense. So in some future day, I'll call you Patty again. But thank you for what you do. Thank you for being a great spouse. But your story is exactly right. Somehow you just look out and you try to figure out what's out there, and you jump in, and people will just open doors. And the doors open up, and all of a sudden you start making a difference to people. And like Susie said, this has been a hard last month on the United States military. And I think everybody in here, and heck, most of the Joint Chiefs are in the room right now, you know, except for the chairman, we could have a tank. We're not going to have a tank, but we could. But you know, as we have lived through the last month, every kind of emotion has run through our bodies. Sadness, anger, but also pride, because the military mission that we just accomplished is one of the most amazing missions we'll ever accomplish. And one of the things that we get to do is we get to come home to our spouses. And when we have tough times, it's amazing to have the spouse there. And it's just amazing to have a spouse network there that reaches out to each other and pulls people together. You know, as a space officer, and I was a space warrior. I'll use the word because we are, but I never thought I would deploy. I really didn't. And then all of a sudden in 2006, I find myself deploying, and I find myself in Al-Udeid, then I find myself in Afghanistan and Iraq, and I just say that from my perspective, I was just doing my job. I was just doing the right thing. And I didn't really understand the impact on spouses and family until I came home and I saw my spouse and my family, and I saw what they had been through that entire time. And then I saw the spouse network in a whole different set of eyes, and I watched everybody come together to take care of each other, as we go through the most difficult times, to build resiliency in the force, to do things the right way and just be there for each other, because sometimes it's really hard. But holy cow, the spouse network is amazing. And I've had amazing spouses be mentors of mine, and not all female. I've had spouses that aren't even part of the military. We hired, the chairman and I, a special advisor who is a spouse now, who has had her own interesting story, and she's come in, and her whole job is to make sure the chairman and I remember every day when we come to work about families and spouses and the challenges that we have and to build resiliency. So Lisa Arfa, thank you for what you do every day. But I tell you what, I've watched a good friend of mine who's a military spouse walk into an officers' wives club the first time and say, "Hello, I'm Bill Keller. I'm the wife of Zan Votrino." You know, and you think about that for a minute, because when he came in, he wanted to get involved, but it was the officers' wives club that was there. Now it's the spouses club, and now you see exactly the way it should be. Exactly the way it should be. And you watch spouses step up and do the most amazing things, and we don't pay you a nickel, and you keep doing it. And we put you through difficult times. We put you through hard times. We make you deal with emotions like you've dealt with for the last month, because it's not just us that have dealt with these emotions. It's every one of you that try to figure out exactly what we're feeling so you can be there. But I don't want to just talk about the hard times. And I want to leave this with you as a closing thought, because the spouses in this room aren't just there when we go through the tough times. The spouses in this room actually bring the biggest joy to our lives of anybody. Because when we come home and we see a smile, and when I see Laura smile, just like right now, so CQ, I made the mistake, I looked at Laura. You know, I'm gonna retire in a couple months, and I gotta make sure I don't look at Laura until that moment, because as soon as I do, it just hits me right there. But that's right, exactly. But her smile lights up a room, and her smile in the evening after a tough day makes me happy. And so that ability to bring joy to life is hugely important. So it's just not being there in the tough times, but it's bringing joy to all the times. So to the spouse in this room, thank you very much.
Oh my, that's so wonderful. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. We are privileged to have so many extraordinary senior spouses here today, and your commitment to military families is inspiring, and we can't thank you enough for coming and sharing this afternoon with us. We'd really love to get a photo with all of our military leadership. If we could, with our branch winners, if you could come up on stage, please. Oh, got so quiet. Yeah, I know. No, not yours. Not yours. Is that what you? Oh, yes. Thank you. Yes, we don't get to do this. Where's Trish? There you are. This is your deal, so we need to move this. Where's some staff? Oh. Thank you, everyone. This concludes our program today.